Well, good morning. I'm decided I was going to try to document a day of Inktober. I've been doing Inktober since the 1st of October, and it's a good challenge. 31 days of drawing, and so today I thought I'd make a video, go live with it, see what happens. So first I'll kind of show you what I've done so far. So here's day one. A couple of examples. The prompt was fish. Sometimes I'll do a little extra, so those were some other days from the first drawings from October 1st. The word was wisp, and I thought of will-o'-the-wisp and kind of a hobgoblin that would wander around on Halloween night or something. There's a lot of Halloween themes going on. I haven't stuck with it very close. Here's what I came up with for my inked in drawing then. A couple other examples. The third day was bulky. Fourth day was radio. Uh-oh. So, I usually do several versions. With my process of making ink, I'm going to show you here in a little bit. It takes a while to make ink, so I go ahead and make several drawings usually. Radio. The fifth day was prompt was blade, and I remembered kind of a story from my childhood where my father would shave with these safety razors, and then like more than 4 decades later, I decided I'm tired of buying all those cartridge razors, and so I went and I got some safety razors like he used back in the 60s, early 70s. And started shaving with those. But as you might have picked up on my drawings, I don't shave a whole lot anymore. So there's rodent was the prompt on the 6th. So there's some rodents. And I've been including a beard and kind of a self-portrait in each of these, no matter what the prompt is, trying to go back to the bearded theme. 6th. 7th was fancy, and really that was kind of a struggle to think of something, because there's not a whole lot in my life that's fancy. I didn't grow up with anything fancy. We don't do fancy parties, and so I thought, penguins are pretty fancy. So that was like an early sketch, and then some later inked in drawings. So I have 2 processes of ink that I use, and I may show you both today. There's some more penguins for the fancy prompt. And then on the 8th, which was yesterday, was teeth. So I went through a lot of iterations of teeth drawings. I kind of stuck with the T-Rex theme though. More teeth. This one here, I was getting close to being finished here, and I even tried writing the word out, teeth, in a tooth format, and I was drying it with the hairdryer, and it got out of my hand and fell on the floor, and some water was on the floor, and it landed face down, of course, so it got kind of damaged, so I redid it with that one. But these were some early sketches. I was thinking of dinosaurs and teeth, and that seemed to be a fairly common theme yesterday. People kind of thought the same way I did with dinosaurs. A couple of other failed attempts. I tried one lion, but I stuck with the T-Rex. And so that brings us to today. And the topic is throw. Now, a lot of people use the different kinds of pens and stuff. I like the Uniball quite a bit. I also have these Pilot pens are all right too. I like the number 10, and but as you can see, it runs out of ink really easily. And the smaller ones, I guess that's a 10 that's got ink in it. But, like 7 is what they provide us at work, and the line width just isn't quite the same. Yeah, there's a 7. So I can kind of show you the difference of what I mean. So here's the 10. Oh, that's the dry one. I need to get rid of that. Try it again. It makes a nice dark line. Feels like it might be a ballpoint pen. I don't know, but it makes a nice line of ink. But here's this one's. So I have to buy these myself because they don't provide those in the office supply cabinet at work. But that's close to the same. But you can see it's slightly smaller. I suppose if I just wanted to use this one all the time, it would work. And I do use these to write in my journal and stuff. But anyway, so that's the Pilot, and then I should show you the Uniball. This is what they used to give us at work before the budget cutbacks. But these were about $2 a pen. So now I have to buy these myself and use these, occasionally. Also, like I don't see any handy, but like the felt tip pens by Bic, the flares, I think is what that name of that is, and seems like there's another pen that I used to. Oh, Micron, maybe, that you get from art and hobby supply stores. Those are nice, but they dry out. They just, I don't know, the tips on them break a little bit. I push pretty hard, so I switched more to a dip pen. I don't know if you can read that. Tachikawa from Japan, and I don't know what type of nib that is, but I found it on eBay. So I like these a lot, but you have to dip in ink. So yeah, here's the ink that I use. Sumi ink by Kuretake. I love this ink, and this whole bottle will last me months. And it's $10, and you might get 3 of the Micron pens for $3 or $10. So there's that. This that pen holder was probably about $10, and then you can get a whole bunch of nibs. So a little of investment up front, but I've been using $30 worth of supplies for more than a year. And then these are just regular index cards. You can get these. I bought these at the Dollar Tree for $1 for 100, I think. So they're like a penny a piece. No, $1 for, yeah, that'd be a penny a piece, wouldn't it? So anyway, so I'm going to work on today's word, which is throw. I'm probably not going to talk a lot because I can't talk and draw. Having a little coffee, and thanks for joining me. Oh, let's show you what the dip pen looks like then. So just dip it in there like that. So this is really old-fashioned. This is how people have been writing with pens for a long time. I got a little on the handle there. I think this mess, I made a mess when I knocked the ink bottle off, so it's up there around the neck of the bottle. It's going to cause me a problem if I don't clean that up. So hopefully just tidying it up a little bit will keep that from happening. So I haven't been live on YouTube for quite a while. My daughter went away to Kansas State. And she and I did a show earlier in the year where we go on live and sing, but she's not here with me. So I'm going to just make some art today. All right, we'll try this. Dip it, and I like to shake off the excess, otherwise it can make a mess. So, those of you that use Adobe Illustrator are familiar with the pen tool, and maybe you use a tablet even. So this is pressure sensitive. As I push, the nib spreads apart. It's actually divided, and it makes a wider ink line. So you can, and the nibs are different. You can find all kinds of, but see, if I push really hard, I can get a nice, really fat line. And if I turn it over, you can get even a very, very thin line like that. So lots of line width variation with this style of drawing. And like I said, very cheap. The $10 bottle of ink lasts a long, long time. Unless I start painting with a brush with it, then I can go through the ink kind of fast. And that's what happens when you run out of ink in the nib. It starts to split and give you a double line like that. Okay, so that's inking with a dip pen. It's really fun. And then my other technique I use, I'll put the lid on that for a second, is Chinese ink. And I don't have any ink prepared yet. So that might make for interesting viewing as I take 5 to 10 minutes to make the ink. But you You just take a bottle of water here, a little dab of water, and dip it in there, and this is a Chinese calligraphy brush, and you can make it into a nice little point, okay, and paint with that. Maybe I've got a little bit of dried ink here. I don't know if that might pick up enough here that it'll make a mark. Let's see. Not much, but there's a little bit there. And see how, you can between the dog hairs and the little hairs coming out of the brush, sometimes it's a challenge, but a very light touch can make a small line, and you can make fat lines and very fat lines. It's a very versatile way to go here. But anyway, we can make our ink darker by creating a new batch. But yeah, if I keep brushing in there, I can pick up some of the last dried ink there. But that's the idea. You can also paint with a brush and get some nice ink effects as well. So I'm going to grind up a new batch, and the way that works, you have a grinding stone like this, and it works better if you get a natural stone. They make synthetic stones, and I'm told that they don't grind down as well. But so I went for this was supposedly a natural stone. I found this on eBay. Again, not terribly expensive item. This might have been $10 or $12. I don't remember. And the stick was about the same. But this stick of ink I bought a year ago. I bought it in November, I think, and it's still going for me. Starting to see a little wear on the edge, but I expect this stick will last a couple more years if I want to keep using it. I may start with something new, but so anyway, you just take a little dab of water. I don't want to overdo this. I just put like a little puddle there on my stone, and then I take the ink stick in there and just start slowly grinding it in a circle motion. See how this is compressed charcoal, so it leaves a little dab of charcoal in there with each pass, and it doesn't take it long for the whole smidge of water to turn black from the charcoal. But I keep going. If you stop too early, then you wind up with this, a very faint type of ink. But what I want is a deep, dark ink, similar to what we got with this pre-made ink. So that takes quite a while to get that. Plus, it's a nice little meditation. I like to just sit here and meditate as I slowly make circles with my hand, making the ink. So I'm going to stop now, and I'll probably edit some of this out later, but you get to see in real time here live how this works. See how it's already getting dark? You can barely see any of the clear water anymore. Okay, I'm gonna hush and let this process go. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I like to drop the ink down into the well, then I just kind of tip it and pour it down in there so it doesn't dry out on me so quickly. Less surface area to evaporate. And it's just a little dab of ink, but for Inktober, just a quick drawing, a quick idea. It's actually surprising how much I can get out of a ink like this. So here's what hand ground Chinese ink looks like. It's still a little thin. Maybe I was expecting it to be a little darker. That's not bad. There. And so it's nice to get these different values too. That's why I use my tray and pour little bits of water in a couple of the slots, and then I can make different values of ink. Like this one, we'll make that one a little less dark. And then I'll go less dark still in this. So hopefully, yeah, that'll dry out pretty nice. Like so. Well, that one's not much darker, is it? Yeah. So anyway, I like to have at least 3 values to work with. And honestly, if you just have a little bit of ink on your brush and you dip in water, that's going to give you a little bit. So, all right. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to make today, but we'll see what comes out. We'll see who shows up today. Throw. I think I'm going to grind a little more. I'm not real happy with what I have yet. We'll see what happens. On something like this, it's just really important to take your time. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's nice. Good. Oh shoot. That was fun. Yeah, this brush is a little slippery. My hands are a little dry, so that can happen. Let's see if that. Try to get my tip back. All right, here we go. a smaller brush and I don't have one. That's all right. Well, so this all needs to dry. It'll take a couple of minutes. Maybe if I set it under the light, it'll dry a little faster. That one kind of dried quickly, so you can see I can use the different values then. It's a darker shading, and then I can kind of come in with some lighter, and it's still kind of damp, so it's going to affect it, but anyway, that's my process. I might dabble with these a little bit more. In fact, I think I'm going to set these aside and draw a little bit with my dip pen. And I can combine these two techniques. You can do shading and then dip pen, or vice versa. So I'll set these on the side. We'll come back to those. So, pretty different techniques. And my ink's drying out here too. I'd like to cover that up. I just set this tray on it usually, and it keeps it from drying clear out. I guess that's it.